What's up, everyone? This is the Raw Truth coming at you with another video. And in this video, it's going to be borderline touching on topics of conversations that I've had, whether it's on YouTube or in person with people. And it seems like whenever we talk about issues going on in our community, we're talking about the abortions, the child abuse, child neglect, child support, whatever topic it is. What I'm finding out is a lot of people they don't want to accept the truth. They don't want to keep an open mind, because once you start figuring things out and having statistics and stuff back it up, what you're saying and stuff, people always do this. They run to their own experience as if their experience dictate every doggone thing. And I'm here to let everybody know that your experience, okay, it's respected, but it does not and will never ever dictate facts. What do I mean? Let's examine this a little further. Say, for instance, that I'm talking to a woman, a black woman, and I'm saying to the black woman who's complaining about that man that she's with, he doesn't seem like he's man enough, and she wants him to grow up. And why is men like that? So I may bring up something that's a fact, that black women lead in child abuse. So therefore, since black women lead in child abuse, maybe that boy had his manhood stunted and was never nurtured because it's been suppressed by his own mother. And you can look at one of my videos called "Does the Black Man Have Stockholm Syndrome to the Black Woman?" And I go in detail about that. And as soon as I may say, okay, black woman leading child abuse, and this may be the reason and the cause and stuff, all of a sudden, well, let me tell you, my grandmother did this, or my mom did this, and my mom is this, and my grandmother is that. Notice that they always using mother, and they always using grandmother, but I don't hear them saying grandfather, and I damn sure don't hear them saying father. And so they say, well, look, my mother never abused me. I was never abused, so how could that be? It's like totally ignoring the fact that black women lead in child abuse. It's like folks don't give a damn about the child. As long as you have a wonderful life growing up, who gives a fuck about everybody else? And that's why I can't stand to talking to majority of black folks, because they always want to have tunnel vision. They want to see the truth whenever they want to see the truth, and whenever they don't want to see the truth, they always run back to only their experience. Even with talking with men, men talking about why are these kids acting the way that they acting? And I'm looking at that man, and I've heard him speak so many times, whether it's in barbershops or whether at a job, and I see him all the time, and he always has something to say. I begin to get a feel of what that person really is like. For an example, whether he's he was a nice person, whether he did his best to be the best father ever, whether he was a whore, whether he was a man who just wanted to, be a bad boy and shit. And so I'm listening, and one thing you have to understand is when you're talking to somebody, always listen to the details of what that person say. Listen to what that person say when that person's having a drink. Listen to everything. You get a feel about what people really are. So when something's happened or something is said, then you will have the correct advice to give to that person based on what you heard out of their own mouth, where I call it that confession. Especially when motherfuckers get alcohol and shit in they motherfucking self. They confess like a mug. I mean, I'm telling you, that bottle of alcohol or some kind of shit. So Wild Irish Rose, all them spiked drinks, vodka and shit like that. Let a motherfucker get all nice and shit. He'll confess the biggest shit ever. Shoot. but you know, it's like that. You know, and they may sit up there and tell you that, hey, they had this woman and had that woman and had this woman and that woman, and here this motherfucker didn't worry about being a father and shit like that because he wanted to be a bad motherfucker. You know, he was a piss poor excuse of a man, no good, was a bad boy, and only give a damn about himself. He didn't give a fuck about anybody else. And now he's talking about why the children acting the way that they act. And as soon as you start to express why that child is acting the way that they act because of men like him, so-called men like him, dumbass motherfuckers men like him, now all of a sudden, oh, but my father this or my mother this. I don't give a damn. The fact of the matter is, alright, if two people have a great life, do you not care about the 10,000 who don't have a fucking great life? Do you not care about that? It's like that's the one of the main defense that I get sick and tired of seeing and hearing people say stupid shit like that. Okay, you had a good life, but what about your neighbors? Come on now. Folks always want to use that shit, their own personal experience, but you have to understand, if two people, let's just say you have a crowd of 1,000 people. Alright, listen. Shut the fuck up and listen. You have a group of 1,000 people. 100 may have had great results in doing what they need to do, while the other 900 is struggling. The problem is that them 100, alright, you're basing it on your experience, but do you not care about the 900 who's not? That's why I don't understand, again, why motherfuckers always want to build. They want to build. How can you build something without recognizing the truth? Because anything that's built on falseness will crumble. But what do I hear all the time? Oh, my personal experience, make no bones about it. Okay, you had a good life. I respect that. Okay, make no bones about it. You had a bad life. I respect that. But what do they always say? The majority rules. So if the majority rules, and what I mean by majority rules is this. We have the same group of 1,000. Okay? Now, we either go to a basketball game, or we're going to go to a football game. Let's take a vote. Who wants to go to a basketball game and who wants to go to a football game? Out of that 1,000, 800 picked basketball, while 200 picked football. So because the 800, which is the majority, the vast majority, picked basketball, alright, we ain't going to football because we're going to basketball. Now, those 200 people may look like that's not fair, but the majority rules. Well, take that same fucking logic, turn that logic around. You have very few people growing up in great homes and stuff like that, but the vast majority of them don't. So therefore, I know it sucks, you probably hate it, but you have to care about the vast majority. The vast majority of our nation needs help. They're very, very sick. They're very, very sick. And no, I do not. And I'm going to make a statement that's going to stun everybody. I do not believe that we are suffering from mental health. I don't believe that. Mental health, I will go through that when I go to part 2, but I will talk about that mental health in part 2. But right now I want to stay on this because I need you to understand something. When I'm talking about that majority rules, the majority, the one that's going to go to the basketball world, the majority of bad homes is what it is in our community. The majority of children are being neglected. The majority of little boys are being abused at a high rate. You know what I'm saying? And you can check out my videos called dealing with suicide when it comes to black boys. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of videos out there I'm having in my description box, but it seems like a lot of people just don't fucking care about that shit. They don't care. You know why you don't care? Because if you don't recognize the problem, that means it's not a problem. That's the most dumbest bullshit ass, bitch ass shit I've ever heard. It's like that saying. That saying goes like this: if a tree falls in the woods and you're not around, does that tree make noise? Of course that tree makes noise. Anybody tell you that tree don't make noise because you're not around to hear it is a dumbass motherfucker. Why? Because we all know something with that mass, something with all that density and that solid and that wood and thousands, maybe tons and tons of trees just falling down. It's going to make some motherfucking noise. It's going to make some motherfucking noise. You know? Then I get folks talking about, well, I didn't grow up. I don't know anybody like that. You are a fucking liar, because if you live in the ghetto, you know somebody like that. You know somebody like that. So don't even hand me that bullshit. Every single time I read comments on YouTube or talk to a lot of people, whether it's at my job or anything like that, for some reason, these people are trying to fool me. Well, it's always them who had a great life and a great like this, but yet you read the comments and look and read in between the motherfucking lines, or you read in between the lines of what they saying to you when you're face to face, and you realize this motherfucker's crying. You realize that this bitch ass nigga is lying, or this bitch ass nigga is lying like a motherfucker, that these motherfuckers tell more stories that you could fill every single library up and have to build 10,000 more because they all telling stories and shit. So these so-called men, these ballers, these bad boys and shit, always got a positive story. Well, it ain't like me, you know. I ain't grow up like that. No, my mom did this, my mom did that. These black women sit up there. Well, I don't know anybody like that. You know, we love our children, but then facts is what it is. Facts is what it is. How in the heck can one gender of women lead in child abuse, but you're telling me that you don't see shit? You're telling me just because your ass weren't abused that means no other child was abused? Are you serious? To me, that's insulting. And folks that's been abused and shit, you should feel mad. You should be insulted that these women and even some men think that shit don't go on when it fucking does. Which is the reason why, one of the big reasons why our children are fucking monsters in the streets, because that's child abuse. That's child abuse. Whenever you abuse a child, he has to get power some way. And a lot of times, what gives that child power? That fucking gun in the street. Why do motherfuckers join the game? A lot of people, and I ain't going to say majority because that's bullshit, but a lot of people join the gangs. Why? Because they are not getting family instruction and family love at home. So if they're not getting family love at home and they join the gang, who is sending some of our kids to the gangs? Yeah, you. Yeah. Yeah, you old head, you old school who talking about, you're a fucking baller and shit like that. You black woman, when you're talking about you don't give a damn what man bust a nut inside of your pussy when you fucking those bad boys. And now we have a fucked up home, and now the child feels all fucked up. There's no fucking hope. He's not getting no kind of guidance and stuff at home because not a fucking man is in the house, and now he returned to the gang. A lot of the crimes are just exposing the failures of parents. But yet, leave it to a lot of people that you talk to them. Oh, it wasn't all like that. Get the fuck out of here. Your children are like mirrors. They only reflecting what's in the household. You're just mad because they're telling on you. You're mad because you want your secret to be kept in a home, but yet you can't because whatever's in a home, what you bring home, even spiritually, what you bring home, your children are going to let you know what you bring home because your children will perform that same fucking act in the fucking streets. I'm coming back with part 2. I'll be back.